welcome everyone. So today's makeup tutorial is inspired by the one and only Anita Pallenberg. She was a model and actress and most famous for being the muse of the Rolling Stones. She was dating Brian Jones, she dated Keith Richards, and she was just a big 1960s fashion icon. She was one of the most famous faces of the late 60s. She was very known for her eclectic and unique style, and her makeup was very different to what anyone else was doing back at the time. So while a lot of people were wearing a very doll-like light makeup, Anita Pallenberg was all for the rich, smoky eye look. And if you want to see how I recreated her iconic makeup, just keep on watching. So per usual, I'm starting off with a fresh face. All I've done so far was to apply some skin tint to just kind of cover up some of my imperfections. And now Anita Pallenberg's makeup look was pretty different from anything else during that time period. While kind of everyone else was going for a very cute and doll-like makeup look, she was one of the first people rocking a smoky eye. And I really think that different and smoky eye look is amazing, and so today I'm gonna share that with you. So I'm gonna start with this kohl eyeliner. These were super popular during the 70s, and I'm just gonna start by applying this just like regular eyeliner to my upper lash line. So Anita Pallenberg was a German-Italian actress. Even though she wasn't British, she was a very popular person in the swinging 60s of London. So when you're doing this doesn't have to be perfect because we're gonna blend this like crazy, but basically just make sure you got your whole eye covered. You can make this pretty thick because, as said, we're gonna blend it a lot. So in the end, I'm just kind of taking it out straight, not up or anything, but pretty much just straight, like so. And now I'm gonna do the same thing underneath my lower lash line. So just right down here. So besides being a model and an actress, she is mainly known for being involved with the Rolling Stones and being one of their, or pretty much their biggest muse. So in the end, I'm just kind of taking these two together, like so. And basically she was dating Brian Jones from 1965 to 1967. So now I'm gonna take this small brush and I'm gonna blend it. Blending this and making it softer. And basically, she and Brian Jones had matching haircuts, they wore a lot of matching clothes, which made her one of the first women to try the androgynous look, and I feel like she and Brian Jones wore that a lot, and I think that's such an interesting idea. I talked about that before, that to me the idea of fashion having a gender is kind of weird, and I feel like they were in the same headspace, and I really love to see all of those pictures of them just wearing whatever they want. And I feel like that they looked so much alike kind of made them famous because they were really one of the first people to embrace that androgynous look. So as you can see, by kind of smudging it out, it creates a softer look, and now I'm gonna do the same thing on the upper lash line. So basically, in 1967, Anita Pallenberg traveled to Morocco with the Rolling Stones, and while they were there, Brian Jones was violent against her, and so they broke up, and Keith Richards took her home with her. The two had become friends earlier because they were hanging out with each other, because obviously Anita was Brian's girlfriend. And so shortly after, Anita Pallenberg and Keith Richards started dating, and they actually dated up to 1980, so for 13 years in total. So as you can see, this is very different. It's really dark and rich, and I feel like Anita Pallenberg either wore no makeup and went very natural, or she wore that like really hypnotizing black smoky eye, and I really like that look, so that's what I'm sharing with you today. So now I'm just gonna do the exact same thing on the other eye. So far so good. I really like this look so far. So next up I'm gonna go in with eyeshadow. So from the pictures that I found, it kind of looked like she either put on some gray eyeshadow or a brown rusty color. And I'm gonna go with this dark brown shiny color. I just kind of feel like that goes nice with what I'm wearing, and I feel like it also matches her aesthetic. And now I'm just gonna apply this all over my lid. So Anita Pallenberg and Keith Richards had 3 children, with the youngest sadly dying as an infant, but basically people refer to her as the 6th member of the Rolling Stones because she was always around them, and she was pretty much the first it girl, and her fashion sense inspired so many women coming after her, like for example Kate Moss, and like a lot of other fashion icons really took a lot of inspiration from her look. So her style was really eclectic, it was really loud. She did a lot of that Victorian and Edwardian style, and she kind of had a very eclectic and experimental look. And I feel like that's what made her so famous, because she was really one of the people who was really influential on the big fashion trend change from that very preppy mod look to that kind of darker and richer and eclectic late 60s look, doing the same thing to the other eye. There is actually a movie called Performance in which she stared along the Rolling Stones, and this look is kind of inspired by that movie because I feel like she wore a makeup very similar to this one, and I really liked it. Also, if you've never seen Performance, as said, it's a 1970s movie starring the Rolling Stones and Anita Pallenberg, and it is so beautiful. Like, especially the costumes and everything is simply gorgeous. So I kind of feel like I took a lot from the black away by applying the eyeshadow, so I'm gonna go over it again with the eyeliner and just reapply the black a bit more to make it really dark and rich. If you've only been using like modern eyeliner and you never tried a kohl liner, it's very soft and it was super popular during the 60s and 70s, so I would highly recommend you to get one because it's super easy to use and it smudges so nicely. So it works perfect for that smoky eye look. So in most of the pictures that you see of Anita, her eyes are really what pops. She kind of has those eyes where you look into and you kind of get lost, and to create that look, I'm using a silver eyeliner like this one. This is also like a softer one. And basically what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna put it on my lower lash line inside of the eye. Kind of right here. So I really love how this is looking so far. I feel like this captures a lot of the classic Anita Pallenberg because, as said, she was kind of a wild child of that time and her style was so unique and so amazing. And sadly there aren't really a lot of pictures where you can see her makeup up close, but I feel like this is kind of doing it justice. So usually I would apply some mascara now, but I actually read that when she was asked about her mascara one time, she said when she did a lot of modeling and people would come up to her and say, don't you want to use some mascara, don't you want to freshen up your face, she would just use her finger, lick it, and then rub all over her eye and just kind of be like, so do you like it better now? Is that fine? I really like the attitude behind that. I don't know, I feel like Anita Pallenberg to me is a very inspiring woman. She was involved with a lot of bad things and there were a lot of drugs going on, but she was also super smart. Like as said before, she was German Italian, so she was fluent in German and Italian and English and French, and I think there was another language, so she was really smart. And what I really find super inspiring, how she was just so unapologetically herself. She never really bothered fitting in with the 60s culture, she just made it her own, and I think that is absolutely amazing. She's actually one of my biggest style inspirations because her style was so eclectic and I'm really drawn to that eclectic style too. So I also filmed a lookbook inspired by her, which will be up after this video, so in a couple of days. So subscribe to this channel if you don't want to miss that, because she had a unique and beautiful sense of fashion, and if you want to see that, if you want to see how I recreate that, subscribe to the channel to not miss it. So from the pictures I could find her eyebrows looked very natural, so all I'm gonna do is to fill them in the tiniest bit. If you've watched some of my previous videos, you might know that I don't really pluck my eyebrows or do anything to them, and so basically all I do is just kind of fill in the natural shape. Okay, so I feel like that's good. So the only thing I feel like is missing to complete this look is the blush. From the pictures that I saw, it kind of looked like she was wearing her blush up here. However, she has a very slender face, which I don't have. I have a very wide face, I think. And so I'm gonna try and make it look as slender as possible with applying blush. But when I do these makeup looks, I'm not trying to look as much as Anita Pallenberg, but I'm just trying to recreate it while still having my own face, obviously, and still being me. So for blush, I'm once again gonna use my NYX Ultimate palette. I use this palette all the time, and I'm gonna go in with this reddish orangey color. Just gonna put a bit on this fluffy brush, and now just gonna pull it up like so, because I feel like that's what gives me her face shape, or at least a tiny bit more her face shape. Just blend it very, very well. Kind of like so. Now we're gonna do the same thing on the other side. just like so. From the pictures that I saw, it kind of didn't really look like she was wearing any lipstick or anything, so I think I'm gonna leave the makeup like this. I kind of really like it. So while she was dating Brian Jones, she had shorter hair, so something like this. Brian Jones had that very classic bowl cut, and she kind of had a very sharp bob. But then later on, she kind of let her hair grow out a little bit and had a very loose bang, which I feel like is kind of what I have going on right now. So all I did was to really brush my hair and kind of brush out my curls a little bit. I didn't want it to straighten it because I felt like that was almost too much of a Polish look already, because as said before, her look was a lot about having fun. So this is my finished Anita Pallenberg look. I hope you like it. I hope you can kind of see it. I'm gonna put in some close-up shots now so you can properly see the makeup. So I personally really love how this turned out. I really love her makeup look. As said before, I feel like it is so unique. It is very different to a lot of like the very light and playful 60s makeup looks. This is more of that rock and roll it girl look, and I feel like that is what she embodied. And she was one of the first people to wear that like heavy dark makeup look, and I feel like it suited her so amazing. As said before, she was just such a unique person with such a unique taste in style and fashion and makeup, and I feel like this makeup look embodies her whole rock and roll lifestyle perfectly. So that's it for today's video. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, I would love you to give it a thumbs up and maybe share it with a friend. It supports the channel, it supports me, and it would mean a lot. Also, feel free to leave a comment down below telling me whose makeup and style you would like to see me recreate next. Anita Pallenberg was one of the most requested muses that I got, but if you have anyone else that you would like to see, just leave a comment down below telling me. As said before, the next video going up after this one is the Anita Pallenberg inspired lookbook, so make sure you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on that. I hope you're having an amazing day. Go out, enjoy the sunshine, take yourself some time to focus on you and your mental health today, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye guys!